AARO has been caught in a lie. Let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Okay, here is Mike Herrera's memorandum for the record per his interview with AARO during the reign of terror of the lovely Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick. It goes over Mike Herrera's account of seeing the man-made UFO in Indonesia, but this completely conflicts with the historical report released by AARO. From UAP GURB, Mike Herrera 2023 AARO Testimony Memorandum for the Record. Key to note, this testimony was conducted with Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick while he was still the head of AARO. This MFR directly contradicts AARO Historical Report Volume 1, which covered Herrera's testimony under Section 5, Assessment of Interviewee Claims of USG Involvement in Hidden UAP Programs. AARO said in the historical report, an interviewee who is a former U.S. service member said that in 2009, while participating in a humanitarian and security mission in a foreign country, he encountered a U.S. Special Forces loading containers onto a large ET spacecraft. And of course, he didn't say it was ET. He was very clear that it was man-made. In fact, here he is talking about it.
So that day confirmed that we had this technology because it was man-made. You could clearly tell it was man-made. It wasn't like ET. And then some of the stuff I've seen, recently with ET craft photos, or, even doing CE5 with Greer and a couple of other people, you can kind of see that it was nothing you could really describe. It was just like an orb, or it was just like something like a very bright light, but it was very pure. It wasn't like a drone where you could see blinking lights or nothing, but it was just a very pure light.
So comparing the ET stuff or the NHI stuff to the man-made, the clearly man-made craft he was seeing in Indonesia, which he goes on to say in that interview with Jesse Michaels might be the reverse engineered version of the 8 gong seen by Jake Barber. Maybe. We don't know for sure. Herrera from the memorandum for the record. The men were armed with M4s equipped with ACOG sights, pistols, and drop thigh holsters, and they spoke English with American accents. There's no mention of U.S. Special Forces, unlike the AARO report. The object, Mike says, appeared to be some type of powered craft hovering above a platform. The object was matte gray or matte black in color and made a sound similar to that of initially plugging in a guitar amplifier. Not once did Herrera discuss an ET craft in his MFR. Since his original testimony, he has claimed this craft seemed to be human-made, yet the AARO report stated Herrera claimed the craft to be ET. Why did Sean Kirkpatrick and AARO egregiously misquote Herrera's memorandum for the record twice in their historical report? Now, this is an interesting tidbit that UAP GUR brings up that I thought was really interesting. He says, I think back to what Herrera said to Sean Kirkpatrick while testifying to AARO in 2023. According to Herrera, Kirkpatrick said only one thing, a question he repeated twice. Who were these operators? Now, that is a really intriguing comment, and I think that speaks to the divide between the government aspects of the UFO control group and the private aspects of the control group. In that interview with Jesse Michaels, there is additional information and stuff that you can infer from what Michael is saying that, it's the aerospace companies, it's the private contractors like Lockheed and, other companies that seem to have the bulk of this technology and the really high-end stuff, which is really strange. You imagine there's some pretty fancy stuff, for example, at Area 51 and places like that. But according to that information, it's the private contractors that really have this stuff, and the government wants it, as backed up by the UAP Disclosure Amendment in the push for eminent domain. and that's really kind of what nuked the UAP Disclosure Amendment, at least the strong version of it, was because the government wants what the private contractors have, and there's pushback against that. I find that really intriguing and likely important, and maybe even a chink in the armor of the UFO control group, frankly. I think that's super intriguing. Just says, now we know why the whistleblowers didn't want to go to the AARO office. The office blatantly lied and discredited the whistleblower's account. Yeah, well, of course they do. That's what they do. And it's not just Mike Herrera. But getting more into Mike and Jake Barber and their interactions with AARO, I went to Grok and I wanted to see what Grok would have to say about all this. Mike Herrera, a former Marine, claims he encountered a UFO in 2009 while deployed in Indonesia, alleging he saw a craft being loaded with weapons by a covert team. He testified under oath to AARO in April 2023 during Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick's tenure as director. They forgot to add the lovely there. In March 2023, Herrera obtained and released a memorandum for the record from AARO, which summarized his interview. This document has been cited as contradicting AARO's Historical Report Volume 1, released in 2024. The report briefly referenced an incident resembling Herrera's account, but suggested it involved a foreign adversary's weapons systems test, dismissing any UAP connection. Critics argue this portrayal downplays or misrepresents Herrera's detailed testimony about an octagonal levitating craft with no visible propulsion, details that don't align neatly with conventional technology. The MFR, obtained after months of delay, suggests AARO had more specific information from Herrera than the report acknowledged, fueling speculation that AARO selectively framed his account to fit a prosaic narrative. Well, of course they did. That's what they do, sadly. That is what AARO is all about, is pushing the establishment agenda on UFOs. Jake Barber, meanwhile, a former U.S. Air Force veteran and helicopter pilot, emerged as a whistleblower in January 2023, claiming he participated in recovering a non-human craft during a classified operation. Barber asserts he briefed AARO and provided evidence, including video, to both the agency and Congress between late 2024 and early 2025. Unlike Herrera's case, AARO has not publicly addressed Barber's allegations in any report as of March 28, 2023. This silence, 5 months after his alleged interactions with AARO, stands out, especially given Barber's claim of ongoing calibration with AARO under its current director, Dr. John Kozlowski. Barber has stated his team demonstrated capabilities to Kozlowski, who reportedly reviewed their data. Yet AARO's lack of response, coupled with the Department of Defense's refusal to confirm or deny records of Barber's communications, as noted in a March 2025 FOIA response, has led to accusations of stonewalling. Critics question why AARO hasn't refuted or validated Barber's claims if they were baseless, especially given his public profile and the corroboration from other military veterans. Beyond Herrera and Barber, broader concerns about AARO's interactions with whistleblowers stem from its 2024 historical report. The report concluded there was no evidence of ET technology or secret reverse engineering programs, a stance that clashed with testimonies from figures like David Grush, and etc. Anyway, so there you go. AARO has been lying about this stuff for, since its inception. They are a disinformation outfit. Mike Herrera, in that interview with Jesse Michaels, says that, the word on Kozlowski is better than it is on Sean Kirkpatrick. But as we've seen since Kozlowski took over, he has been pushing out nothing but disinformation about UFOs. So I don't expect anything better, but I'm glad that, there are some signs that maybe he's at least incrementally better than Sean Kirkpatrick. I think he's going to put a better face on it, if nothing else. But, from what I'm seeing, it's the same old, same old. But yeah, so there you go. In this newly released memorandum for the record about Mike Herrera's interview with AARO, it is blatantly obvious that AARO downplayed and lied about his testimony in their historical report. Will this gain any traction? Will it force Kozlowski or somebody at AARO to change their ways or to address this issue? I guess we'll see in the days ahead. I would love to see, Kozlowski interviewed by somebody that isn't pushing a puff piece, that actually will ask the hard questions. Of course, Kozlowski will probably just say, hey, that was under the old director. It's going to be all different now. It's not. It's not. It has not been any different since Kozlowski took over. But I imagine that's what he's going to say. And maybe that's why a new director was put in, to put some distance between Kozlowski and what happened before him. But again, this memorandum for the record didn't come from Kozlowski. They didn't admit the stuff willingly. They didn't put this out there. I'm not expecting anything to change. But if you are, let me know in the comments below. What do you think about AARO lying about Mike Herrera, Jake Barber, and likely so much else? Do you expect anything new to come from Kozlowski? Do you expect maybe the new hearings, UFO hearings in Congress to, force the issue and make AARO fly straight? What do you think is going to happen? Where do you think it all goes? Is AARO going to be dismantled? Can AARO be saved? Let me know what you think about it all in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You want to support the channel, buy a coffee mug or a t-shirt, buy one of my books, see the link below. Become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.